All right, so we've got our elevator music playing.
It's not loud enough, is it?
Since when is elevator music ever loud?
That's perfect.
All right, so yeah. All right, so you want to introduce yourselves?
Yes. Hi, Miss V. My name is Omar, and I go to Westmont.
I'm Miss B. I go.
Just keep going. Just roll with it.
Just keep
Roll with
going.
it.
You're an
I'm Miss B.
embarrassment.
I'm Monique, and I go to Westmore. And you
I'm-
know us. That's
You know
Christian
them.
Right there.
You know my name, not my story.
There's Christian right there.
And we are the Crumb Squad.
All they see is the majestic mane. All right, so come on. Okay, Monique, come further over here. That works
Yeah.
more. So that way you have
So
more
anyways-
room. There we go.
There
Now
we
we're
go.
in. Now we're in a better position here.
Anyways,
Alright, so continue.
yeah. So my definition of unconditional love is when a person or a group, like let's say your friends or your family, that there's a genuine feeling of like actually caring for a certain person, even though there is awareness around the group that that person is going to disappoint. Like let's just say my parents call me say I'm a disappointment all the time, and that's actually real. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But and in my moments of feeling down, I still know that my parents, even though they may treat me like sugar honey iced tea, I keep repeating to myself that they're only doing this because they really care about me, that they know I can be better than who who I am to them.
So on the exterior, it's more like on the interior, you know that they do care.
Yeah, exactly. It's just they have a really tough way of showing it, but I know that their compassion is there, and it's unconditional no matter what I do. For instance, I sometime last year I came out to my parents as bisexual, and they accepted me. So that's basically an example of unconditional love, in my opinion. But I've spoken enough. Let's
All right, cool.
move to the rest.
Monique, you want to give what your opinion of unconditional love is?
Well, I agree with Omar what Omar had to say because it's like no matter what you do, like and like even though there's some time where like what you do can be really horrible, they don't stop loving you.
So, what would you say that then unconditional love is like never stop loving someone? All right, Sabrina. You're looking at me with that face, like you know why I'm here.
Unconditional love to me is basically, it could be platonic or like actual real love for somebody, without any like boundaries or like limits, and that's basically it to me.
I think that the definition of unconditional love to me is when you have a person that you do care about, or even a group of people, even a specific type of people that you think you fit into, that you think that you belong with. I think that unconditional love goes hand in hand with feeling at ease, feeling home with a person. And even though you two may bicker, or you may argue, or you might think that it might end, in the end, there's always that little glimmer of hope in your heart, knowing that it's not going to end.
Well, that's tough love for you. Basically, even though there's a lot of tension between like two or more people, you know that in your heart that you actually care about everyone else.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a question here. Alright, so the question I'm asking is, what kind of emotions would you guys correlate or like think about when you think of the word unconditional love? And what words might go against it? What is the opposite of those words?
Love.
Hate. That's a pretty basic one, is love and hate.
Disdain.
Disdain.
Happiness,
Happiness.
sadness.
Trust. Fear. So, when we're thinking about this, you see that there's lots of really dark words and lots of really good words. Do you think that there could be any middle words here? Is there any gray area when it comes to love, or are you either really far left on the spectrum or really far right on the spectrum? Right being like you're deep in love, left being love you don't believe in love.
Wait, can you repeat the question again?
Do you think that there's like a gray area? Like, and then this is for everybody. Do you think that there's like a gray area to love, as in like hate, love, and there's this middle portion in between that? And if so, what kind of words could there be to describe it?
I don't know. I don't have a specific word for it, but I've been in a situation. I had a best friend like several months ago, or like that. I've been friends with him since the beginning of sophomore year, and he seemed to treat me as like a brother to him, like a real brother, and he was mine. He seemed to really care about me, and I still think that he did. But I did something like last year that's to screw him over, and I didn't intend to. And then he just cut off all ties with me.
So would you call that conditional or unconditional? And if it is unconditional, does that mean that there's a chance that unconditional love can go away?
Obviously, it felt more conditional. But then again, my belief is that why would there be conditional love if you know that it's gonna break at some point just because someone screws up? To me, love should be more unconditional. Otherwise, it's not really love.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. Love.
Love themselves.
I agree. I think that loving yourself is something that you need to have before you can love others.
I love that song.
What do you think, Monique? What do you think you have to have before you can have unconditional love?
I agree with what you said. Because, I mean, if someone doesn't love themselves, then why should they love other people? Because that's also like hope. You have hope.
So having hope.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I said that. Well, I also think that another one would be like knowing that you do love them, that you have no
So like having the knowledge thereof.
Yes.
All right. I have another question then.
Yeah. It's possible.
Can you elaborate?
Like with dogs.
Yeah, you're our man's best friend.
Exactly, and they love their owner unconditionally. It doesn't have to span from just humans.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this actually is a boundary when you are like willing to do bad stuff for them.
So could unconditional love be doing bad things for someone out of the sake of love? What do you think?
But sometimes you might end up doing it for yourself.
So maybe unconditional love could just be kind of like a label that you put on to derive away from something else.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
What about non-living things?
Like objects. Like take for example this bracelet I have. Could any of you guys say that I love this bracelet unconditionally?
Of course.
Yes.
Because objects could be physical representations of something bigger. Like this is a representation of my love for God. I don't know if you can see it, but
It's basically it's a cross necklace.
yeah, there you
Miss
go.
V, I think you saw this necklace many times.
So like her heart necklace. So like they can have sentimental value.
That's basically what it is. If you possess something that you know that you need to cherish with your heart, because what it really means is that it's a representation of something bigger. This is a representation of my love for God.
So
The necklace. What does your necklace represent?
Elaborate?
Of course.
You gave me this on my birthday
I did.
when it was we weren't even like
It was your birthday, so it was
Miss V, are they this close in your class?
all the time.
We always sit together.
Yeah, but basically what it is
I kept wearing this ever since, and I wore this throughout many of our ups and downs. That it went through a lot, and it stored everything for me.
so maybe like objects could hold like a sort of manifestation of something bigger. So
Precisely.
so by loving what an object is attached to, you love the object.
It's called symbolism.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have to be just object. It could also be like words or like
Words.
it was just, for example, my middle name. That like my middle name Ray was from my grandma, and it's like conditional love because even though I be mean to her, she still loved me, and I still loved her. You know, we had our arguments a lot.
Yeah.
So like there was no degree of arguing that you could have done that would possibly broken that shade between you two.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about for the idea of unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
What about against it?
Basically, the idea of like being against unconditional love would probably be because you're afraid. You're afraid of similar things happening. Basically, you're just afraid of this constant chain where what you believe to be a manifestation of unconditional love that turns out to be it doesn't appear to be true.
And
I would go in depth
Mm.
if you guys want, but
would you consider that it's kind of like a losing streak? Like once you have that bit of taint in your heart, it's hard to remove it.
essentially, there's really because like I feel like there's no way to go around it. You're in the game for like a time, like in our intimate relationships. You're in the game, but then when your
Things
hearts
happen.
get broken, when
Yeah.
your heart gets broken, you realize that it's more conditional, and or this is just my opinion of it.
Well,
Let me say something like, for example, abortion. Like, sure, you love your baby,
That's conditional.
and then you go and like abort it. That
Well,
pro-choice is kind of countering in a sense of unconditional love.
But then again, could it be that maybe they just don't? Maybe it's because they love that person so much they don't want it to grow up having a hard life.
yeah, that's what I thought. Like,
As in, kind of like sacrificing its life so that it doesn't have to have a bad one.
basically,
I'm just
Like-
trying to be devil's advocate.
well, that's actually a really good point. I'm more neutral about abortion. I'm not against it, but basically, there are many reasons to justify why you would do certain things. Like for instance, like technical infanticide, aka abortion. You do it, and you're technically killing off a kid, but you're also doing it for the sake of maybe you're incapable of raising the child on your own,
So
or
maybe you just want to.
you're doing it
You don't want to have them face that pain
basically,
Because-
and they're suffering before it begins.
because you love them in a sense.
Yes.
And to add to what you said about relationships, I also thought it's somewhat like divorce in marriage. That kind of like is something that counters unconditional love as well.
Divorces are a matter of conditional or unconditional love, in my opinion, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
Well, like, I think I'm gonna say this for the fact with teenagers nowadays, how they like going out to clubs or like getting drunk, having sex, and not actually like
Believe it.
getting out and loving anybody. Really, they're losing it.
So like, perhaps that could also stem from a lack of love, as in maybe, like, imagine it in this perspective.
Well, I think that it would be like that their parents aren't giving them enough.
Yeah.
You know.
So it could be like an inheritance.
Or like lecture or
So they aren't teaching it right.
yeah,
That could be
basically.
that could be a factor. But like, what I'm saying is, imagine there's like one person who gets their heart broken. So therefore, that hate goes passes down generation, 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 and it spreads through more people, and it gets more and more. Could it be that now that that small spark has now become a full-on fire, and that's what we're dealing with now? Is that there's a huge lack of it, or do you think that it could still happen? That there's still a fair presence of it?
Some could say that's a possibility. Basically, the people who raise you, when like from the down up, are the first people that you ever genuinely love.
Mm-hmm.
And if they treat you in such a manner, like if they show you that tough love that you deserve, then it manifests itself to the point where it becomes it becomes how you act about it.
Mm.
I guess you do have a point where where you believe in conditional love because you think that the people who, well, because of the certain circumstances that you've been through.
Mm.
But then again, there's always ways to counter it.
Yeah, I think that in terms of whether or not we have a lack of it, I think that there is actually a great lack of unconditional love in the world today. I mean, you go on, for example, you go on YouTube, right? And you
Yeah.
search up those videos, those faith restored to humanity videos where there are people doing good deeds.
Yeah.
And you think, well, people get so happy from these videos because it's such a rare sight.
I know.
And then they go do it.
Mm-hmm. But then that piece of humanity, that piece of kindness that they feel, it goes away quickly.
I know there's
it's because it might be conditional.
I know there's more hatred than in the world than actual love, and I can actually like. Okay, so like last year, YouTube released a video called #Proud to Be. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it.
Is that the one where all the YouTubers came out?
Exactly, that's the one.
Yeah.
And then, like, for the first few days or week or so, when it came out, there was so much a backlash. Like, there were more dislikes than people actually liking the video. And if you read the comments, there was so much negativity and hate. And and some of the people would actually say that it wasn't hate; it was just based on complete logic. For instance, let's just say I'm a queer. I think I'm a girl. People would in the comment section of that video would say that there are only that there are only three genders. There's a man, there's a woman, and the third one is the mentally disabled. And people not understanding what it means to be gay or bisexual or anything like that, they may not all. They probably that at the same time there are also people who don't truly understand unconditional love.
Yeah, and it's because the fact that they don't that in this society we don't push the idea of it so much, and in some occasions we actually find pride in going against it. That maybe that's what's causing us to lose some of our humanity by losing our sense of unconditional love.
Do you think that this is why that it may factor in people's definition of unconditional love now?
Mm-hmm. Just because of the world around them, that could be a huge factor. The way that the world affects them, the way that the world deals with them, that could definitely shape their own opinions. I mean, we're all humans, and naturally we're social creatures. We take in what we hear and what we see and what we feel. So I would expect that obviously there'd always be people that would say that they have to accept what's around them, and what accepts around them, if it belongs to the majority, then it must be right.
So you're saying that people have a tendency to bandwagon.
Maybe it's a pretty common human trait.
Yeah.
Where if they're even if they believe differently, even if they think, no, I want to be a loving, caring person, when they're surrounded by people who are giving off the impression that unconditional love is something, it's a waste of time, it's not worth getting,
you reluctantly believe in it.
Yeah, and then eventually it circulates through your mind so much that you do believe it. And you think, well, if no one else is going to believe in it, then obviously I can't believe in it either. In this discussion, what have we learned? Have we gained some new, deeper understanding? You think so, Monique?
Yeah.
How come?
I mean, unconditional love is mine. It's not impossible. You know that even if you've gone down, it's really bad roads, there's still people that still have that hope of it. You still have that desire.
So while there may not always be unconditional love, there will always be hope for it.
Yeah.
Is that a good conclusion?
I think so, yeah.
Alright, cool. That is the end of you typed something. Alright, I don't know what you typed. But yeah, that's the end of the video.
This is
Might as
definitely a
well-
good
I'm gonna press
discussion.
the stop button. I want to press the stop button on this
Ah,
video.
it's me.
So this was 31 minutes long. Oh my god.
Okay, we.
Hi, Jefferson teacher that I don't have and I don't know.
Her name is Ms. Vandervalk.
Or Miss V.
Miss V. Hi, Miss V.
Hi, Miss V.
Hi, Miss V.
Hi, Miss B.
Hi again.
Sorry.
That one more.
My name is Omar and I
Alright,
go to
so-
Westmore.
Yeah.
My name is Monique. I go to Westport.
And these are our friends. And
Yes.
that's Sabrina.
That's Christian.
Evident. Alright.
Okay.
So the topic for this discussion is
Wait, oh no, we can't use this video
what?
because I flipped off the camera at the beginning.
I did too actually.
I'm so sorry, Miss
Sorry,
V.
sorry.
I'm so sorry. Wait, no, let's just have a... Okay, okay.
Is this
let's-
also bloopers?
Um...
I don't know if it is or not. Mine is.
This is really not gonna work. Oh my gosh. We're not usually like this. Like, when you get to know us, we're actually really mature people.
That's the best
Well-
one I've heard all day.
Actually, no, you already know these people. So, well, not just me, well, not me and Monique, so. We're actually better in
Put
person.
on elevator music.
We're very nice. We're very nice people, okay?
No, we're not.